Hey, it's Jim Peterson of the Minnesota Timberwolves coming at you from LA Live. And you're watching Wolves After Dark. Welcome.
I believe that the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to win the World Championship.
Edwards. They are advancing to the Western Conference Finals for the first time in 20 years.
Oh, it's on, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah, baby.
Welcome in to Wolves After Dark, everybody. Timberwolves lose. I don't even have the final score. It was like 90-something to 80-something. It was a low-scoring game, 94 to 85. If you're new here or if you're not new here, like the stream, subscribe to the stream. We're going to be giving tickets away. If we get to, I said 100, let's do 50. Let's do 50 likes since we lost for game 3. So make sure you like the stream. If you missed it, you're going to have to go back and look at the intro again because there was a special guest in the intro if you missed it. Rewind afterwards, or I'll show you guys at the end too. But how are we feeling? Series is 1-1. Honestly, I mean, the first quarter was like identical to the last game where we had similar things happening where like they were allowing the Lakers to challenge even though we had the ball at the free throw line. Yeah, just gross. Gross things like that. Also down by 20 or 15 or so in the first. But really, other than that, it was a really hard-fought game from both sides. I know a lot of people, at least in the Discord, and I'm sure on Twitter, are talking about the fouls. If you look at it, they actually were pretty even. And I'm not saying that they were equal fouls, but the actual numbers were even. Fouls-wise and free throw-wise were actually fairly even. And to be honest, I'm not even just trying to like appeal to people because I'm certainly not appealing to Minnesota Timberwolves fans, but I actually don't think it was that crazy. So yeah, I don't know, but we've got our second special guest of the day who's in the lobby waiting to come in. I'm waiting to add them until they're here for real. But
I'm here for real.
You're here for real.
For real this time.
Oh my gosh. Amazing. How are you feeling after that game?
Fine. I'm feeling fine, Cameron. Mm-hmm. That game had literally everything. We lost. Let's blow it up, right? Let's blow it up, Jake Erickson. Let's blow it up. I'm feeling fine, dude. It had the recipe for a miserable experience. That game had no flow. That game had no intensity. It was just like, I shove you and you flop, or I touch you and you flop. Like, that's the game that we were expecting, and that's the game that we had. 3 fouls in like 3 seconds for Naz Reid. Like, we couldn't play any sort of defense. It was rough. But also, unexpectedly, I didn't think that we would be as miserable from 3 or as miserable.
Yeah.
Just from like a play calling down the down as it like went, to the end of fourth quarters. And like, I really felt like Ant was like kind of hard to find his rhythm in the game. I felt like he was taking himself out of the game. That part was hard to watch and stomach. This is a series for a reason. Lakers are going to win a game. We were not sweeping this fucking team.
Yeah.
So it's not as bad as it looked because we were miserable, yet we only lost by 10 or so. So we found something.
Yeah, I really think the only thing that people should be down about right now is, well, I mean, there's obviously certain things that we have to look at and try to improve. Like, I mean, if we play at least just a smidge better in that first quarter today, dude, like the game is tied. Like
that quarter sucked. That first quarter sucked.
Exactly. And then also, like, the only reason that you'd be disappointed, other than the things like the little things like that we need to fix, which maybe they're big things, I don't know, is like, if you thought we were going to sweep the Lakers, then yes, this is a really tough day for you because then it's going to feel bad. But no, I think You weren't expected to win game 2. Of course, also the Lakers came out with such intensity, such defensive intensity right off the bat. Sweet baby happening. Did you put breaking news in here, by the way, earlier today?
No.
Did you? Okay, that was really weird. It came up when I first joined.
Yeah.
I thought it was you. But yeah, no, it's frustrating. Also just so many players, like you said, the 3-point shooting is insane. I mean, the lack of 3-point shooting for this game. And I'm sure that Lakers fans are sitting here watching, which they're not allowed to talk in this because I've limited it to subscribers of more than one day. But they're probably saying, well, you shot lights out from the first game. Yeah, but that's not that crazy. Everybody's going crazy about the stat that like our first game in the playoffs, or our first game this year, we hit what is it? Not career high. What am I trying to say? A franchise high in the playoffs for threes. We've been to the playoffs like 2 times. Like, I mean, this isn't the same as like saying the Lakers scored like a franchise high. There's differences. So, but yeah, no. Honestly, the thing that I'm most worried about is that we just don't take home games as seriously as I'd like to. So I don't like having the Lakers having momentum going back home. Because even if we were up 2-0, I was like, I kind of think they might steal like game 3 because they're just gonna have to. But yeah, no Bronny tonight.
No victory cigar.
Yeah, man, oh man.
Yeah, that was me last night. I did the breaking news thing. Sorry, I was lying to you. I set it up, but yeah, I had a really hard time because I was watching with a friend who is not a basketball fan. This was like introducing him to Ant. I was so excited to show him things. I was like getting footage set up on my phone to be like, hey, he just did that. Look at him. He did this last year. That dunk on Jackson Hayes was amazing, but where else was he? Like, he was really having a hard time tonight. What did the Lakers do tonight that was just so meaningful to disrupt Ant's flow tonight?
What did the Lakers do? I mean, we got a shout out because we've got a third special guest of the stream. Yep. Oops, sorry. JJ Creates is back. We've been tagging you all season.
All season.
At least I have. I've been missing you, JJ.
I've been dreaming of you. I've been checking your Reddit comments.
I have not. Well, I did that a while ago, but not recently. Man. Yeah, Ant struggled tonight. I actually, I think a lot of it early was very normal Ant stuff where he's kind of letting the rest of the team get some offense so that he can like easier get some shots up that aren't going to be completely. I mean, he's getting trapped, he's getting doubled, he's just getting a lot of pressure. Secondly, I mean, the problem is that Ant's just not. This is why I know it's an unpopular opinion, and I know that Conley was not good tonight, but like you kind of need somebody other than Ant because Ant's just not like he can't be the ball handler. He just can't. So I think you put pressure on him, he loses confidence. It's not good. Overall, I didn't necessarily think he had like the worst game. I mean, obviously he had a really nice poster dunk, which was super exciting, even though we were down at the point. And I thought he made some good impact buckets. I thought he made some good decisions tonight. But yeah, I mean, some of the turnovers, I don't know how many he ended up with. I got to pull up stats.
Yeah, I mean, he just looked like a different player tonight than last game. I really, really enjoyed. But I mean, yeah, make or miss league. You're passing to an open 3-point shooter. Tonight we struggled from just 3 in general. But both teams did, right? So both teams were struggling, and that's okay. But the game was so chippy. The game was so chippy that we just couldn't find any flow. We couldn't find any rhythm. We couldn't generate offense the way that we traditionally do. And we found ourselves in like a Randall pit hole where we always found ourselves giving the ball to Randall and having him kind of like go to work, finding something. And while he played his role like he had in years past, where it was the good and the bad and the ugly. And there was a lot of ugly tonight. And I really think that our bigs did not do us any good tonight. And usually our bigs are our strength. Size is our strength. And it felt like they were just getting in our way.
Maybe this is a question for you, and I don't know if you have the answer. This is maybe more of a rhetorical question. I don't know what that means. I'm just saying words. But I was really expecting the Lakers, 1, to be physical, which they were, but 2, I really thought that they would be like super aggressive to closing out the 3-point shooters and just really limiting our 3-point game. which to a degree they were, which I thought then that was the perfect opportunity to give Rudy the opportunity to just foul Jackson Hayes out of the game in the first quarter.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And we struggled to do that. And do you know why we struggled to do that? Did you see something that I missed? Or was it, I mean, Rudy had really pretty bad hands tonight. Maybe it was a trust thing. I don't know. I don't know.
I had a hard time kind of focusing on the other things that go right for our team when like just generating offense is hard and kind of and like it's just like we're allergic to it. So I was having a really frustrating time kind of like celebrating Ant and doing like looking and pointing and talking about Ant and then him just sitting in a corner. He was sitting in the corner a lot tonight. So a lot of my feedback for tonight is just like, so I'm not worried about this series whatsoever. This game wasn't supposed to be a sweep. This is going to go the distance. But like I kind of felt for some of the sloppy play that started the game. Like we couldn't kind of overcome that. We got into a big hole, and it seems like we start games slow because we have Conley and Gobert. We don't really have a fast pace to our game initially. And like adding on to that is Ant deferring. So we don't have the pace that we should traditionally have on our roster as a starting unit. Yeah, we have 3 more bench players that could be starters on other teams, but we don't need to wait till our bench comes into the game to get pace going. It was only when like Terrence Shannon Jr. showed up that we had like some sort of like push of pace. And it was like, I don't know, it like felt weird to just like watch our team not do traditional things.
Yeah, I have a take here in a second, but first I want to get to Love Fadina.
Dude, love it.
Thank you
so
for the super chat. I put a stupid goal in super chats tonight. I was just seeing what the feature did, and if we get to like 10, I'm going to put the wolf hat on. It's so stupid. Poop it, as I said. Anyways, he only looked different because nobody besides Randall made a shot and had to force it. Yeah, honestly, I don't think Ant forced shots too much, but the passing, he did make some of the same passes he was making game 1. But a lot of these guys were more tentative. I mean, we had a couple times where and Nas,
totally,
and they're pump faking when they kind of had it, and I don't understand. I mean, I know that your touch changes from day to day. It's not like you stay hot from 3 days ago or whatever. But as Ant always tells everybody, I want you to shoot confidently. He tells that to Jaden all the time. Jaden was another one where he just wasn't like he had some opportunities and they just weren't taking him. I'm not saying they go in, but you would just hope that you maybe do that a little bit more. But my take is so first game you have Jaden as like your number 2, which is like he's scoring a ton, which is obviously super helpful. So if Jaden's scoring, we're good. This is so dumb. But when Jaden's not scoring, it really changes things for the entire offense. And I think Jaden scoring in the first game and not in the second is the perfect representation of why it's super important to have a reliable wing scorer for you, alongside wing or guard scorer, alongside Anthony Edwards. And where you look at, I mean, again, I'm not trying to overreact from one game. I'm not overreacting from one game because, as you are saying, I do feel comfortable about this, but all the rumors throughout the season, all the rumors that are going to happen in the offseason, regardless of how the playoffs go for us. This game 1 and game 2 are the perfect example of why if you had a consistent scorer that was like, obviously Randall scored tonight, but like you need one of those starters to also be a consistent scorer. And Jaden is not consistent, but as we said in our preview, he can go off for 20 points in some games in the playoffs, which maybe he will. And I'm willing to chalk this game up to you're going to lose some in the playoffs. You're not going to sweep everybody. I know we swept Phoenix last year. It's different. This is a very veteran, very experienced playoff team. And even just LeBron himself, I mean, just that leadership is enough to probably win you one game. So yeah, that's my Cameron's take of the game from Menards.
Whoa. Breaking news. Cameron's take. All right, sorry. I'm getting over this new feature that was an old feature that I just discovered.
I was going to say this is old.
Yeah, it's like 3 years old, but we just didn't know about it. I can't click buttons. I'm a boomer. Alrighty.
Okay.
I was kind of talking to my friend about just like general tropes of the NBA and like what's good offense and like how many points people score a game, like on teams score a game, and like a good score is like in the 120, 115, or just generally. We scored 15 points in the first quarter. He asked me like, so how are you going to get to 120 points? I'm like, I don't know, but this is how I thought this game could have gone. And it was going to be chippy. It was going to be like hard to establish a rhythm. They're going to get in our face. They have to be more physical than us because we are taller, more athletic, everything more and than they are. And so I kind of answered him being like, this is actually good for the Lakers. Yes, we are down by 20, but also if it's like a 90 to 80 game or like 80 to 80 game, this is favoring the Lakers because we have a lot of depth that can score and can take off. They don't. Their role players are going to get 6 points. Like Gabe Vincent get fucking dunked on in the pandemic, but you score 3 points or 5 points. Like that's all you're going to do in this game. And you're going to try to be a little squirrel and like kind of get in people's way and punch some nuts or something. Jared Vanderbilt, what was he doing? He was just being a reckless player, like hitting Nas in the thigh to make the ball go out of his hands or something. It was like kind of just like unnecessary stuff. But they're just trying to muck up the game, get more physical. Good for them. They know that they're irrelevant players and they have to rely so heavily on LeBron and Luka that they can't really adjust that game plan.
Yeah,
I do feel like my take is when the game was rough, when the game wasn't established any rhythm, why did we go to Julius Randle so much?
Yeah.
Why couldn't we have just like forced it into Ant's hands and have him just establish something, make something happen? They were pressuring us. They were being very physical. I get it. But why was I watching Ant 20%, 30% of the time just sitting in a corner? I was very, very frustrated by that. And also like adjustments from game 1 to game 2, where were like, what were we trying to do differently? Why were we pushing it to Randall? Why were we having a McDaniels kind of off rhythm take shots? You know, like we were just watching him do some ISO shit. That doesn't make sense.
My guess, honestly, and this is again one of the things that I was thinking about that we might be able to take advantage coming into this game, is that if we go, if they are serious about playing super physical again, if they're going to be that physical, especially with the different referee crew, that I think they thought that they could maybe get over aggressive and foul. So giving it to Randall 10 billion times ISO might draw some fouls and lead to some over aggressiveness from the defense. But it's somewhat about we maybe have had this conversation in the past about Finch's game to game thoughts, but also in game adjustments. Like game to game is like I think Finch is fairly decent at, but in game adjustments like maybe non-existent. So it just doesn't really change that much. Sometimes he's able to motivate guys to come out in the third quarter, which sometimes this year that's been more of our quarter where we can maybe show off a little bit and take advantage of teams, especially on the road. But yeah, I mean, it was just the Randall show the entire time. I don't know. It was just kind of embarrassing. So,
Yeah. The flow through offensive or oh my god, that like Randall like hand.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't really know the rules there. Like, should that bucket not count, or is that normal? Like,
sorry, let me get this.
What the heck is that? Oh man.
It was a very bizarre situation, but I think it should have not have called an offensive foul. My God, LeBron, your face is fine. Get over it.
I mean, the Lakers are just embellishing everything.
Oh yeah, they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
but, like we saw a lot of Luka like flopping, and this is rose-colored crap here, I'm sure. But like Luka flopping, and like there was some really, I would say, tough calls for Naz Reid, but probably justified calls for Naz Reid, which really pissed me off. Like his like setting screens where he was running into the set screen.
Yeah,
I was very disturbed by just how out of focus we were. The lack of attention to details, like wait for the screen to be set before you move, like a lot of random stuff that's happening. And yeah, I think this is like a lot of takeaways for game 2 is this can't happen again. Like this is going to be miserable to watch and get at home if we're just kind of letting them out physical us and we or we're just laughing. We're just laughing at it. We're not responding with physicality ourselves. We're not like kind of mucking up the game, and we're not like getting to the paint and trying to dunk on them. Like it was really hard to watch passes to Rudy Gobert and him like kind of just like sitting there idle and like tossing the ball off his hands and like kind of fumbling the ball. And it was just like, we're just lucky when he gets like a pirouette shot up, let alone in, like that fucking fast break transition. I was screaming.
My gosh.
I was screaming in this bar that was mostly a Minnesota Wild bar, by the way.
Oh, that's right. That game is happening.
Yeah. It was like 4-1 when I left.
4-2 right now.
That transition, like Rudy had like no business doing any of that because of all of the precedent of tonight. He had no hands. Like, so it was hard to see our kind of game come into fruition unless someone like Ant just like takes over the game.
Which,
and like in a game like this, like the IQ should be there, being like, no one has it tonight. I need to take this game over, and I did not see it.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. We should probably get into the tier list. We're talking about some player specifics, but before we talk about our players, last thing I wanted to say, Cameron's question or something. No, Luka, in the last game, what was so key about winning that game was the non-Luka minutes. I'm not going to ask a question. The non-Luka minutes were huge. What was it? I don't even know actually how much he played in the first game. I got to pull it up here real quick. Now, it's a little lopsided because, he played 40 minutes. He played 42 minutes tonight, 42 and a half. So really, I can't. We only had the chance, or no, that was Reeves. Sorry. He played 42 minutes tonight. There was only 6 non-Luka minutes tonight. I'm sure we took advantage of those minutes to a degree, but he played all but 3 minutes in the second half. Yeah. So, like, we didn't have a chance. And the only side note, we'll get into players here because we're going to do the tier list. But Rudy, although I don't think he was like that great tonight. Him being out there and getting switched, it's almost like this nice thing because Luka is just trying to take advantage of him. And I'd love to see his shot chart versus Rudy, or just what he did against Rudy, because I think he only made like 1, maybe 2 buckets on him, and he took like 10. I don't know. He was taking really bad shots. The crowd was acting like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see him cook Rudy. And it like basically never happened. The one time that they would, all the social media and everything is going to say that they cooked Rudy or whatever, was actually kind of fine defense. It was like the fake pass that Rudy didn't go for, was just hands up, didn't want to get a foul. And then they're like, wow, look at Luka magic. And it's like, okay, calm down. But honestly, I didn't hate Rudy getting switched on to Luka because it made Luka take a bunch of stupid shots. He was 2 of 8 from 3. But anyways, cool. Tier list. Oh, I don't have it shared.
Oh, neither do I.
I do, though. Boom. All right. Before we get into the tier list, also pre-tier list thoughts. We are getting close to doing a giveaway. We are at, let me refresh here, 33 likes. We only need 17 more.
Sorry. I got to get to it.
Oh, yeah. You got to get your burners. Yes. 17 more likes, maybe only 3 more likes after Ashwin's burners. 17 more likes. And we're going to be doing ticket giveaway for game 3. Make sure you have subscribed because you are going to have to be subscribed in order to win the tickets. And then like the stream. You also have to like the stream to be able to be eligible to get the tickets. And remember, as always, when we do these giveaways, you are going to have your either Twitter, Instagram, or Discord name ready, and you're going to have to put it in the chat after you win without the @ symbol. You have to be able to contact us somehow. Channel members get 4 times priority and 4 times the amount of entries into this, so make sure you are a member today. This helps the show. And it helps you get better chance at a giveaway. We lost. Everyone is a D-Lo. All right. And since I know we're going to have some new faces, I got a lot of new followers because of some some short that I posted on YouTube today. And then also on Twitter, I had a bunch of new followers. It was kind of crazy. So rules for the tier list. A1, unforgettably good game. You're going to tell future children about this someday. Glenn Taylor, unforgettably bad game. You're never going to forget how bad this was. You're going to tell your kids how bad it was. We care about you, bud. Means
Care about
kind
you,
of
bud.
unnoticed. You were fine. Nothing too bad. Nothing too bad. Nothing too good. And then everything else, obviously, in between. Old tier is dynamic, can move up or down. Don't really know where it's going to go tonight. We'll see. I won't spoil anything. And feel free to participate in chat. We would love to have some help in chat. Usually that's what I rely on when I'm doing this. So I just read chat and I pretend like it was my idea. All right. Luka Doncic gets the... No, I'm just kidding. Who are we starting with for the Timberwolves?
Yeah. Honestly, Terrence Shannon Jr. I give him big ups for being ready, game ready. I felt like he was only in because Naz Reid hit 4 fouls in 5 seconds. And Terrence Shannon is just a bigger body, and I really appreciated him like not really buckling in the moment. It was really exciting to see. I was very worried when he did come in initially, but I give him meh. We care about you, bud.
Probably. I honestly might even go a little higher, but I think it's more just the shock that he played and the shock that Finch was willing to play him.
I was like, is this our secret weapon? Is this our adjustment?
Because I mean, he played fast, and I thought that was important. And he made a bucket. He made his only bucket. And there was another time where he blew by. I don't remember who it was. I think it was Austin Reeves, and he got right to the bucket, and then he passed out. And I think it was some tentative like shot or pass or something by somebody else. Yeah, I think I could be persuaded into nice, but I think I'm probably okay with meh. We care about you, buddy, because we do care about him. We do care about him. Plus 7 in 7 minutes. I didn't realize that.
Ooh, nice. That was a fun run. That was a fun
run. It
run.
felt like it.
Yeah. Man. I just want to say, like, big ups to all of us for it's midnight. It's 12:30 where you are for most of you, and we're still like living, but we are calmed down. We are we're clams, and knowing that this is going to be a series for the ages. We just have to know that games are going to look like this at times, but how we respond is going to be a huge key, because this tier list is going to look fugly. It's going to look bad.
It's not going to
go. Tomorrow, next game is just 48 hours away. Wait, I don't know.
No, I think it's Friday. I think
Friday.
Right? Yeah,
72 hours away. Yes, we get to fly in peace, and then all those Minnesota distractions. For all those LA fans out there. I just hope we respond, because this was a miserable game 2, but it wasn't like a panic resulting game 2. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, I did not feel his impact. I felt like he got shoved everywhere. He was unable to play. It felt like he couldn't establish himself. He felt it was too small. What's that like taunt where you just like go down to the bottom of the floor? Like that felt like him, man. I felt bad to say this, but like this was not his game. This was a Juancho like performance from Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
I agree. Some tentative threes. Apparently he was a +8. I don't really know how that happened. I guess he was out there for a lot of like the second half, I think. And some of those, I mean, it's hard to say runs because it never felt like we really went on that much of a run. It was just suddenly slowly chipping away. Yeah, I just thought there was too much tentativeness from him tonight. And, even though we are technically the bigger team, the Lakers are kind of all like, they have a lot of tweener bodies. So like, it's a lot of like that, like small forward-ish kind of, either shooting guard, small forward, power forward almost. So they've got a lot of size that just doesn't work with Na. His defense just wasn't as effective. I think I'm on board with putting him in Juancho tonight. Yeah, he gets bullied, especially in this series, though. It's really mostly this series. There's other times where he could be effective against like smaller guards. But since the guards in this game are essentially LeBron and Luka, and even Reeves is like probably like he's probably got more meat on him than Na does.
LeBron. baby Reeves, man. He looks like a little like preteen over there. 0 for 6 from 3. Maybe grow some facial hair. Maybe he'll hit some threes. Dante DiVincenzo.
Yeah.
The worst game I've seen him play in a Timberwolves uniform. It was miserable. Why was he not shooting threes? Why was he trying to drive in the rim? Like you're not fooling anyone. You're actually like helping out the Lakers game plan. I also felt like his passing was like not there. The other thing that he does is the intangibles. He's basically like he brought the Knicks identity to our team, like the hustle and like getting down to the floor and getting those hustle plays. Nowhere to be seen, and he was just like coughing up passes, like stalling out the offense. I really did not look like a Dante DiVincenzo like performance,
No.
or like the individual was even out there. That was like his rookie year, like DiVincenzo out there.
Yeah.
Miserable. Looks like also the stat line agrees with me. Team worst, -17. He was played off the court routinely, but I don't know if it was like the defense that frustrated him or hurried him. I just thought that he was out of rhythm. He didn't have the confidence, and that's disappointing because he can pop off for 20, and
Yeah.
we would relish that. But like, if he's going to be this like infrequent and this like not reliable, unattendable, like we might have to look elsewhere. Like that's not fair. That's not fun. We need him to come to the party. Fucking Glenn Taylor for me.
Oh wow, yeah. I mean, the fouls were so bad. And honestly, it was similar to like you said about Nas. It's like these fouls, like I can understand. It's almost like the opposite of what I was thinking was going to come into this game, because I said I thought the Lakers were going to have foul trouble because they were going to play too aggressive. But it was like Dante didn't understand that the last pair of refs that we had were the same refs that gave us game 2, the defensive masterclass against Denver in the playoffs last year, and this game was not them anymore. So it's like, I don't know. Sure, there were some ticky-tack fouls, but like just too aggressive. We need you out there. The defense is important, but man, your offense is what's so sorely needed. So I would much rather him have put his effort into being on the floor to have offense versus a couple extra defensive efforts. It's hard to criticize trying to play defense, but it's like in a game like this where we were shooting so poorly, having a Dante could have been just a lifesaver. So I think I agree. I think I can agree with you and Glenn Taylor. Not good. Not good game.
Question though.
Yeah.
Question from chat. I actually wasn't even a question. It was just like, but should he start despite his Glenn Taylor-like performance? Because they have multiple options on offense to kind of like take a possession. It's Louis. Yeah. It's Louis. It's Luka's turn. Then it's LeBron's turn. Then it's Austin's turn. And they kind of do this routinely, and that's fine. That's their whole like MO. Yeah. But like we're very predictable, and until our shot makers make shots, like we don't have like other options. If Dante DiVincenzo was out there instead of Conley, like Conley was 0 for 5 for tonight. We'll talk about Conley in a second, but should that be Dante?
I mean, for this matchup, maybe this matchup might be helpful, but it's just so tricky because going into I mean, it's just the same thing I said earlier in like Mike being able to like efficiently ball handler. I'm not saying he's like an elite ball handler. It's just that he is probably one of our better, most calm ball handlers that we have on the team. And I think that is valuable, even if he's 0-5, even if he's being targeted on defense. I think that there's some value. But again, that just gets me back to the fact that we need another scorer around Ant. And maybe that's Dante. But Dante, his ball handling is not necessarily my fit. Like I'm not in pressure situations where like, let's say like how the Lakers were playing defense tonight and how the Lakers were allowed to play defense tonight. Like I don't trust him and his ball handling or his ability to not have a turnover in crucial situations. Same with Ant. I mean, they're kind of similar in that way where sure they can bring the ball up and sure they can like initiate some amount of offense, but if it comes down to like, hey, we need like a steady hand that isn't going to have the ball stolen away from LeBron or isn't going to have any defender, like Vando could press up on anybody and probably just bother them enough to maybe turn it over. So that's where I struggle. But I do think it's worth at least looking at. I don't know if they're gonna do something like that.
Yeah.
I think you could definitely see that if, let's say, game 3 we lose somehow. If we lose game 3, which I mean, all of these games we could lose, we could also win these games. I think these are all. I mean, this is going to be a long series, so this is going to be like 50-50 probably. So if we lose game 3, I would not be surprised, especially if Conley is like a big reason why. That if game 4, then you see Dante starting. But yeah, I don't know. Either way, tough game for him tonight. And we need a bounce back game from him because honestly, even in the last game, he was okay. I'm not trying to say he was terrible, but like we could still use more. Like, we could definitely still use more from him because what did he have in the last game? He only had, where is he? Yeah, he only had 9 points. So he's got 9 points then, and he's got how many points tonight? 4 points tonight. So he's got 13 points in the playoffs so far. Gotta have more than that. Gotta have more than that.
Naz Reid, man, he was phenomenal in game 1. That was our identity in like a player. How Jaden popped off game 1 and how Naz was just like setting the tempo. You can't like sag off of our shooters. Like he comes in and just instant offense. That was remarkable to watch in game 1, especially the season, how he was ending the season.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yep.
Game 2, something shifted, something like got under his skin, and he was a little hurried. He was doing other things that I wasn't expecting him to do, and he was only 1 for 3 from 3. I didn't expect this type of game from him. However, I'm not like mad about it. I'm gonna give him a meh or a meh. We care about you, bud, but like I think Naz Reid had so much more to give, but we had to get him off the floor because he was getting just bullied out there.
He was getting bullied. I have the same sentiment as you, but I have a different grade than you. So I agree with you. I think he was a wancho tonight, but for the same reasons you just said. I think I didn't necessarily like hate this game, and I do think a lot of it comes from him and LeBron were kind of matching up a lot, and LeBron was playing super aggressive defense tonight, and he was getting a lot more pressure than he was the first game, and I mean everybody was because we were getting so many open threes in the first game, but he was feeling the pressure. But also the thing that I think takes me down to a wancho from Meh, we care about you, bud, is just the fact that those fouls and kind of the mental game that he was, I think, losing this game. I think he kind of lost it a little bit at times. I don't think he fully lost his mental this game, but I think he was far too animated, far too angry about some calls that I think we both agree were probably pretty fair calls, even though we don't necessarily love them. But they were probably fair calls, and he's arguing them. I get it. I'm not saying that he thinks that they're not fouls. He's probably just saying like, hey, they're doing that on the other end, which may or may not be true. I don't know. I mean, it probably was true. But I just I would have liked to see a little bit more poise from him, especially because I mean Naz is young too, but he's been around long enough that I'd hope that he'd have maybe a little bit better like just control of like how game flow is going, and just arguing with the refs I just don't like. So I don't know. But yeah, I think I'm probably at a wancho for Naz.
It sounds great.
What the heck?
We do not care about you, bud.
I think we care about Naz. Maybe we care about you, bud, as its own here.
Yeah, let's take a second here to just appreciate you, Love the Fadina again. My God, my boy, my man. If the Lakers are allowed to play like that, then we lose. Yeah. Nobody but Ant, TJ, and Julius can play versus physical defense. Everyone else is too weak. I was so frustrated by some of like the effort that I saw from like Gobert and Naz when they're getting kind of like hurried or pushed, or just like there was a clear rebound, a possession closing rebound by Gobert, but he's like, oh no, my chest,
dude.
And Luka just got the rebound again.
That drove me
that
crazy.
Possession just like almost made me just like get up and leave. Like
I know,
because it's just the game is literally potentially like turning for us in that moment.
It was.
And we are just going through motions, and we're not playing as if this is a possession of a lifetime. Like, like this is our game to be had. Like, we were just like, let's lose. Let's wait till fucking Friday. And I feel like the physicality, wasn't that our identity last year? Wasn't that us like pressing on people and making sure that they can't get to their spots? And it was up until the Dallas series that, like, yeah, maybe some of that like went against us because they had bigs that would just like take our physical traits and kind of like just be a lob threat and like really frustrate us. Like, this game should have been ours because of how obvious and like predictable the Lakers are. Like, we could have just been physical with them back. I don't know. Maybe sometimes the refs are getting in the way and the game was very chippy, but like, I felt like this shouldn't have been a problem for us. Cameron, like, if this is the way that the game moves and the series moves, is this a problem? Love Fadina thinks it is.
I think, yes, to answer your question directly, yes, it is a problem. But second part of the answer, I don't think the Lakers can keep up this level of intensity. I think this was a desperation game for them. I mean, LeBron played 40 minutes. Luka played 32 or 42 minutes. Did I say 40 minutes for LeBron? I meant that if I didn't say that. Either way, those two players playing that much, and Reeves played 42 minutes, but Reeves is less injured. I mean, the thing is that Luka's young technically still, but he's like, his knee is still bleeding for like the 7th year in a row somehow. And then like LeBron is obviously 40. And then so like those two, I just don't know, especially if they're playing that amount of minutes. Now they are given.
Fuck that stat, by the way.
The schedule, that's crazy. Oh my gosh, I hate that. The schedule god / Adam Silver really tried to help them out this series and gave them 2 games off in between every game, except for the one in Minnesota. So that's going to be the game that we're least rested for. But it's still going to be tricky for them, especially if we have just even a teensy tiny bit better offensive production. Like, legit, I know this game felt really gross because of the Lakers' physicality was a struggle for us. But 2, it was just because shots weren't going in. And to the Lakers' credit, that a lot of that is because of that. But also, this was such a bad shooting game, really, for both teams. But like, if we just have an ounce of like, really just look at it at any of our like quote 6 mans that we talk about, like Nas, Na, or Dante, if any of them just go off for like, I don't know, 15 points or like 20 points or something.
Don't we win this game?
We win this game.
Despite how shit we were.
Exactly. I think we can win ugly games. I think we can win these ugly games.
Cool.
So yeah, I guess to answer your question, I do think if they're allowed to and they continue that, if they could apply that much pressure every single game, it's going to be tough for any team to beat them, which is partially why I thought the Lakers I picked the Wolves to win the series, but like, I think that the Lakers do have a good chance if they were to advance. But we'll see if they can keep that up for however many games the series go, which at the moment looks like it might be like 6 or 7.
You know what gives me hope? This is a big copium moment here. This has nothing to do with the tier list or anything about our box score. I don't know if they can play this way for 48 minutes and for 7 games.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I am very strongly in belief that Luka can't be like this, physical and not, and like Rui and Austin Reeves are pushovers when it comes to push or shove, and LeBron can't play for 40 minutes a game, and I think this is a 7-game series for a reason. That narrative, storylines, and also just like the talent will come out of all of this. The physicality is their weapon for game 2. We respond. If their physicality is their weapon for game 3, we have an answer for that.
Yep.
It's in our home turf as well. And I just feel strongly like this kind of shooting performance doesn't happen at home. If this type of shooting performance won't happen when they muck the game up. It's going to be ours. It's going to be a proud like resurgence, and like it just this type of effort just can't persist for multiple games. Like, I totally am in full rose-colored Timberwolves bias belief that will happen.
Yes.
And so like I'm just kind of taking pressure off of me, kind of relaxing a bit, being like, yeah, this was kind of a shit shooting performance. What was that? Ant didn't like take over the game, but like, guess what's going to happen in game 3? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
The Lakers only scored 13 points in the fourth quarter, man. Like
Yeah.
they were tired. They were gassed. And that when Ant checked in, I was like, here it comes, my friend. Like I was telling my friend, this is when he's going to take over. They are gassed. You can see it on their knees. And LeBron's on the floor fucking faking it on his beard. Like he's like, oh, give me some oxygen.
Yeah.
Just old.
Yeah.
I'm fully in belief that this is going to be a long series that benefits us. If it's a mucky, like no flow series, it might initially benefit the Lakers because they can't score, they can't initiate and generate 120 points a game. This will benefit us in the long run. So I'm feeling okay despite how gross this game looked. Back to the tier list. Boy, we're at our starters now, aren't we?
We are.
Go ahead and great. Oh yeah, and I think Mike Conley I love him. I do. Like it was hard for me to just talk about him to my friend because I was like, he's not really doing anything on the court. Ooh, fast break. He took a 3. Ooh, that was a waste of possession. That could have been something else. One assist for Mike Conley. The like, who is this player when he's out there? Like, I like the comment that I saw from someone earlier, matching like Gabe Vincent's minutes because we need this series, guys. We can't just like fall on our sword and like let LeBron carry on, whatever, legacy be damned. We need this series.
Mm-hmm.
We can't just be like, hey, our vets, we got to owe it to them. We need to win the series and move on from that shit. Like, there's no like prescription here to like wait for Conley to pop off. Like, we can't wait for that.
Yeah,
so
exactly, because that's once in a blue moon.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel like it. And like we feel good when he gets 8 points. Like that's not exciting.
Exactly. He hits 2 threes, and I feel like I'm on the cloud 9 or whatever.
Dynamic old tier for Conley, but it is old.
Yeah,
it is. I wouldn't mind him not starting. And I would hate to kind of have this embarrassing moment if we switch up the starting lineup, but I just feel like we need another player out there. Sure, he can establish the offense. Sure, Conley can establish the offense. Thanks for bringing that up. He's not in offense. He's not in the offense. Like, so it's hard for me to even say like, hey, bring up the ball and like do something and bring it up. He just passes to Ant and then fucking goes off in a corner. What is his use? He guarded Rui Hachimura for possession and got owned.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just sad. Maybe it is. It's time for Dante.
Butterfly is asking where our likes at. Let me see.
43 on my end. I haven't refreshed though. 43. We're only 7 away. Get your burners out, folks. Get your burners out.
Let's go with Jaden McDaniels next. A1 performance in game 1. Oh my God. That guy gave me so much juice, gave me so much life in that game. I couldn't stop watching like the present and the future when he shows up like that, man. He could be our beta to our alpha, our Batman to our Bateman, whatever that stupid ass commercial is that's going on right now.
I don't know.
8 points, 5 fouls, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. This is a Jaden of old kind of game. This is not a playoff riser. This is a regular season performer type of performance. I wish he got a better whistle tonight, but I just felt it. I felt it when Butterfly said it in the commentary in the pregame, like, and Jaden's going to get 3 fouls. I'm like, oh no, Jaden's going to get fouled. Jaden's going to foul out in 5 seconds. And that's kind of what happened.
Mm-hmm. Kind of. I mean, it was frustrating tonight because honestly, I feel like he spaced, maybe I'm wrong. I could be totally wrong. I feel like he spaced his fouls out pretty evenly, but the defense was just so much better on Luka in the first game. And to it, I mean, I'm not even going to try to complain about it too much because I do agree that Luka trying to switch on to Gobert every time was honestly a positive for us. But Jaden last game was just doing such a good job of staying solely in front of him and not on his hip.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit more of the on the hip. He was getting screened a lot more tonight. I mean, Jaden also drew some fouls for some illegal screens from the Lakers. So there is that too. And they were screening him off of him heavily just so that they could, have Rudy come up. But which again, I think that was a net positive for us. But yeah, just I mean the offense. You go from what do you have? 25 points and 9 rebounds in the first game to 8 points and 4 rebounds in the second game. All the Lakers fans were saying, "Oh my gosh, the Timberwolves shot 21 of 42 from 3. They're never going to be able to do that, keep that up." The only thing that they were right about is that Jaden McDaniels is not going to score 20 points a game. That is correct. He is not going to score 20 points a game. All the other things aren't ridiculous to have happen. Nas to go off or all of our players to hit a decent amount of threes. That's pretty common. But Jaden is that, unfortunately, he's just inconsistent. And yes, Butterfly, shout out to Jaden for tripping Luka. I think it's a little both. I mean, he definitely tripped him, but also Luka is just like flopping like crazy. I mean, he's embellishing it. Also, where's the technicals for Luka in that situation? He had at least 3 techs that should have been called. You're telling me that if Ant does that same exact everything that Luka just did, he's not getting a tech? He's getting a tech. He's probably getting thrown out of the game, to be honest with you. Anyways, that's on Luka. Jaden tonight, I think I'd probably go. I think I'm in between Meh and Wancho. Where are you?
We care about you, bud.
Yeah.
We need you back, baby.
We do need you back.
This is your Helms Sports Marketing moment. Garrett Helms.
We're sponsored. Our first sponsor.
Yeah. We'll throw you up here every night.
Yeah.
Lakers zoned when Ant touched the ball, it hurt. And that's maybe the comment of the night because the defensive switches from man to ball pressure to zone really slowed us down, man. I was like just kind of this like beside myself being like, where's our flow? Where's our offensive rhythm? And the zone just like made Ant kind of deflect and defer and kind of not take an aggressive stance. It really frustrated me.
Which, I mean, I'm not trying to defend Ant too heavily because I do think that he could have been better. But I mean, he was passing and other people were also being indecisive. It's just, it's a whole collective thing. Yes, it comes down to Ant because he's the star. He's the main guy. He's the one that dictates the flow. So yes, it does come down to Ant. But I really think this was like a team failure because we just needed other people to be definitive in their shots when Ant passes it, whether they're in the zone or not. And Ant did drive a little bit. He was able to get to the basket again. Both games, he's been able to get to the basket more than at least it feels like more than he does in the regular season. W sponsor. But still, I mean, the zone still is a problem for us. We still have to figure it out. There also last game we did figure it out because we had decisive shooters. I can very vividly remember one particular play where they went into the zone. Ant passes to Jaden. Jaden cuts immediately and just shoots like a mid-range 15-footer and makes it. And it was like, oh, immediately the Lakers switch out of it because they're like, okay, well they're just too hot. We can't go into zone. So we just had to have some players. I think Big Boy in the Discord said it. I don't know if I fully agree with this take, but like tonight's the night where I almost wish that we would have just chucked some threes. Like just to have some kind of rhythm, have some buckets go in, because we just didn't have enough. But anyways, that was a long tangent. I'm sorry.
I never apologize except for that moment. That was fine. That was a perfect apology.
There we go.
You're excused. You can leave now if you want. I'm just kidding. Yeah, Jaden McDaniels gets we care about you, bud. Rudy Gobert, 29 minutes, 6.6 rebounds, 2 steals, 12,000 Butterfinger fingers. It was awful to watch.
That was low. That's a low number.
I feel like our strength is our size, our athleticism, our ability to box out and close possessions, and that was not this. I felt like he was very hurried, and I just constantly felt like he was pulled out into the perimeter a fair bit against Luka and Reeves, even a couple LeBron possessions.
Yeah.
It looked ugly at times, but they were not making everything. So
I know.
he was doing mostly his job. It's just, man, boy,
The
does it get
Butterfingers.
frustrating when it's like his offensive identity is like draw fouls and like that's it, run up and down the court. We got to use him somehow, but he's not a threat when he's not feeling it. Like when he's not confident, we're not able to get on the ball. Like he doesn't present an easy opportunity to score. And so I really felt like this was fucking Wancho, man. This was one of the worst performances I've seen from Rudy play in this postseason so far, but just in general since we've had him.
Yeah, I think I think I'm with you. I know people are going to want to go lower, and I see it already in the chat, and I'm sorry. But I do think, as we've talked about, that like it was like you said, it was an ugly game. But really, I mean, Rudy was somewhat effective. There were really just a couple plays that felt like, oh man, we can't have Rudy out there. Like he got blown by Reeves late in the game, which that one really hurt. Again, this is another one of those situations where it's like, I said this last game, but I when Rudy gets switched out onto the 3, tonight he was a little bit better, but he prioritizes them not driving so much that he usually allows them to get pretty wide open step back threes.
Yeah.
And it drives me crazy because what do we do on defense for him when he's playing drop and we're out fanning out to all the 3-point shooters? We play really aggressive, don't allow the threes, let them drive because either they take a long 2 or they have to go up with Rudy at the rim. Of course, we don't have a Rudy behind Rudy, but it just feels like to me we need to have a defender step up because we can't rely on Rudy as the arguments that the national media makes about Rudy are just so stupid and disgusting because they're like, what they say is, oh, well, he's the defensive player of the year. He should be able to guard anyway. No, he absolutely should not. He's 7'6" center. I mean, like, that's not how that works. Sure, he's long enough to block anybody, and he's probably long enough to make up, but he's gonna be slow. At a point, they conveniently said, like, oh, the slow-footed Nas Reed, but they will never say that about Rudy. They'll just say, oh, Rudy should be blocking him. It's just like stupid, lazy arguments. He is a center. And he plays drop because that's the most effective way for him to play defense. And it's just the scheme around him. So I'm sick of that argument that it's like, oh, I cooked Rudy. Like Luka is loving that he can do his fake ball fakes and fake passes that don't fool anybody. And then
They don't fool anyone.
And then he's like, look, I cooked Rudy. And it's like, no, you absolutely did not. So I don't know. Anyways, that's my tangent about Rudy and getting switched onto because I really don't think it was as bad as it looked. It felt bad like for 2 or 3 possessions, but really it was okay. But offensively and the Butterfingers, the rebounding, all of that was just so bad tonight.
Yeah.
That it doesn't matter if I want to stand up for them for the other things because those were all just the play that you mentioned was just that's a play I won't forget and I'm going to tell my kids about that. That's where I almost want to go Glenn Taylor because it's like he has it. He has stopped the play. He has played good defense, and he's trying to sell a foul call from Luka slapping him probably in the hand, which may or may not have happened. I don't know, but just
not
grab
happening.
it. Just grab it.
Just
You have it.
He's not getting the call. Rudy's not getting
yeah.
that call.
I don't understand that logic there. Even if he did get hit in the face, just power through, man. Just stop being. I don't want to say stop being weak because that's like mean and whatever, but like just be strong. I don't know. You have a moment, like I don't know. Was that when we got within 10? It just felt like a moment we needed to have that stop and have another bucket, or at least an opportunity to bucket. Which I mean, the way we shot tonight, maybe it was pointless. But yeah, I don't know.
I love this comment so much from 420 Sports. I love this the discourse
Yes.
between dunking is step 2 and step 3. That was amazing. But 420 Sports, they need to never look to the rest for anything. Please, I take this and like play the game as opposed to playing the game within the game, where it's you're looking to the lefts, lobbying the refs, complaining to the refs, because that's Luka and LeBron expending so much energy complaining and bitching. We can just literally just take a possession right out from that. Like there was a moment where I feel like last game in game 1, they're down by 20 with like 4 minutes left to go in the game. The game is already over. Ant is slowing down the game. That makes total sense. LeBron is walking back on defense.
Yeah.
Nas is wide open for 3, and we just don't capitalize on that moment.
Yeah.
If we're bitching, we're on the floor. We make a transition like a mistake. They score on us. LeBron dunks on us. Like all the stupid shit that could happen happens, and we are catching our tail, man. Like one thing that was happening last game is that we held them in check to fast break points. We had turnovers, but we held them in check. The rebounding, we had it. We had the edge. We didn't have any edge tonight, and those 4 factors that Jim Pete likes to talk about, like we were 0 for 4. Like that's not going to cut it. And efforts like this, like you lead from by example, and like Gobert is just basically saying, "Hey, I'm not playing tonight," and I just really kind of I wanted another answer. I wanted another option. If Gobert is playing himself off the court, who's the other option? We rely so heavily on Gobert, and that's I guess my takeaway is like he's miserable right now when like this is the type of game we've had. We don't get this type of performance from him often, and he was peaking in the end of the regular season, and he looked remarkable. This is not. We're not comfortable right now. We shouldn't be comfortable. So
yeah, I agree. Where do we put him? I don't know. JJ says we care about you, bud, but you're soft. That maybe is the new tier list. Another new tier.
I would say old tier for today.
We can go old. Yeah, I think the Butterfinger hands is enough to bring you down significantly because that drives me crazy, especially in the playoffs. My God, just be strong.
I want to give it up to Julius Randle for a moment. 27.6 rebounds, a steal, a block, limited to 1 turnover. He corrected a lot of mistakes from last game. He was a bit of a black hole, 7 for 9 from the free throw line. That's not bad. 2 for 4 from 3. He did his job. Above expectations, honestly.
Yeah.
But he was the only one who had it, and he is hard to focus an offense around because it's such a possession by like attrition. We're not like doing anything. We're just kind of wandering and waiting, and we weren't moving off ball. We were just watching Julius Randle try to work and cook someone, and it's like not happening. It's not how traditional post players play. And his game is always like this like turnaround fadeaway contactless like jumper that sometimes like is just like a lost possession. I want to give him a nice. I want to give him a nice, but like I don't want to give him a cash because we lost. But like
I know. See, that's where I am because honestly, I mean, obviously, if we win, I think he's cash. Like, it's easy cash.
Xavier's correct on this.
But B, can we hurry up? It is late. Yeah, we're gonna get there, Xavier. I'm sorry. But we're getting to the important players too. We're almost there. Julius.
Shit.
I think it is important. Sorry, I'm getting off track now. You guys are frustrating me. Now it's going to take 30 minutes longer. No, also, we are only 3 lakes away. Make sure you like the stream. I think JJ said it really well, actually, just a second ago. I got to pull it up here real quick. Julius was the only one who embraced and flourished with the physicality tonight.
You're right.
Yes. And he flourished. And wait, where did just dunk Rudy come? But yeah, no, I think this was a super solid game from him. I want to go cash, but I think you're right. It probably just has to be nice. And again, a lot of this is based on each other's teammates because, like you said, players not moving when he's just like going to work or letting him cook or whatever is like a problem, but that's not his problem. So it's more of a team thing. So I think because of the loss, we'll put him in nice. I agree.
And Edwards, 25.6 rebounds, 0 assists, 2 for 8 from 3, and just a couple free throw line trips. I hear he was dealing with both an ankle and a shoulder. Something happened to his shoulder. Did you hear anything about that?
He got hit. Where you're talking about before the game? Because during the game he got hit in the shoulder fairly early. I can't remember exactly what happened. He did get hit though. But I don't know. I just have a hard time believing, and again, this is not fair to him, but like I have a hard time believing a lot of injuries that we talk about when we talk about Ant because he's 23. I'm not saying that he can't get injured at 23, but like I
Oh.
think he did get smacked by that's the shoulder thing that I was talking about. But it's just I think I think those are excuses, and I think everybody has bumps and bruises throughout the game. Um, and I don't think he had anything that should have. I guess what I'm really getting to is that I don't think he had any injuries that should have severely impacted his game or decision making. So I think for Ant tonight, I mean, to try to sum up, we've already talked about it a little bit, so I don't feel like I have to go too far into it. I don't think he had the worst game ever. I think he had some good moments where I think he did drive and he got to the bucket. He wasn't getting contact. He was arguing for content or he was arguing for fouls. I just don't like we said. I don't think that's going to happen. And I do agree with you. He needed to just take advantage or take over in like the fourth quarter or the third quarter when people just weren't scoring. It just needed to be his moment to be like, okay, like nobody else is going off tonight. It has to be my option to go off because he had options where he had enough room at times where it was just him one on one with the defender where he could have done something, whether shoot a three or drive again to the basket. So I'm not going to be super harsh tonight because I don't really personally, I don't think it was like the worst game. I'd probably go, man, we care about you, but that's probably where I end up.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. There he is. He goes to meh.
Luka was able to comfortably be put on him after time after time. Yeah, I mean, Luka did his job on defense.
I think Luka played pretty good defense. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I agree that Ant should be able to most of the time probably beat Luka, but I do think Luka was surprisingly good on defense today. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe Ant is too slow and it's making it look like Luka's more legit, but that wasn't my initial takeaway when I was watching it. But I do like us switching onto him, Luka, a little bit more and trying to take advantage of him, make him tired defensively. But yeah, so
that got me up. That got me excited. That dunk was like an 8-0 run, and that was like something's happening.
And then, well, he gets so hyped when he does the dunks. He does the dunks. That amount of energy that he has after he does a dunk, I can't speak right now. Or plays like gets a really good block on defense or something. That's the energy that he needs to be able to come into without an impact play. He needs to have that energy to just in bursts, regardless of whether he can or cannot get a dunk or can or cannot get a block. So, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Honestly, sometimes like I get lost in the game as well. So sorry about that. But yeah, Love Fadina says it's not necessarily Luka doing anything to Ant. It's the gap help. And I guess the gap help that I saw a lot of, like LeBron doing a lot of that, basically made Ant kind of just defer. But I just think that LeBron like Luka one-on-one, I think like Ant needed to just like take that, own that matchup. I felt like he could have easily have done something more aggressive, shot a couple more threes, like really got into Luka's grill, get a foul call, like something could have happened.
Maybe. I don't know what the calls. It's just not happening. I mean, the fouls were even, but Luka's just got like he can just do different things. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't say he was slow. I said maybe I was just trying to say like, oh, maybe my eyes were deceiving me and he was, but I didn't think he was slow. JJ did. I see JJ said that. And I know that that's JJ's thing. Cool. Well, guess what, guys? We're only 2 likes away from the giveaway. So make sure you like the stream. Then we're doing the giveaway. There's your tier list. Take a picture, send it to your friends.
Snip it.
Delete
it, burn in the fire.
I almost just took Ashwin completely out of the meeting accidentally somehow. That was crazy. But all right. By the way, before we get to the giveaway, I know I'm not trying to take up too much more of everybody's time, but did everybody see the intro? The new intro?
No.
You didn't see the new intro?
No, I missed it.
Okay. Well, while we wait, we lost a like in the meantime. We went down to 47, so make sure you like it. maybe what we could do is replay the beginning of the intro. We don't need to do the whole thing, okay? So we're gonna play it. And Ashwin apparently hasn't seen this either. I thought you saw it, and then that's why you hopped on so quickly. But here we go. Are you ready? We're not ending the stream. We're coming right back to do the giveaway. Okay?
This is confusing.
This is confusing. Here we go.
Hey, it's Jim Peterson of the Minnesota Timberwolves coming at you from LA Live. And you're watching Wolves After Dark. Welcome.
It's amazing.
Was that a cameo or something?
No, he's just a close personal friend.
That's amazing, dude.
Pretty fun.
How did
Pretty
that
fun.
How did he do that? How did he do this?
Anyways,
That makes tonight about as tolerable as it was already.
pretty much the same. Yeah. But I think it's giveaway time. I think we're at 49 likes.
Dude, shout out Jim Pete. Are you shitting me, Cameron? That was pretty cool.
Pretty fun, right? Yeah, I was really hoping we could reveal that for a win, but
Jim Pete cares about you, bud.
Shout out Jim Pete for the definitely not a cameo. Okay. Let's do the giveaway. Remember, rules, okay? Rules for the giveaway. I'm going to put a keyword in chat. You have to put it. Yeah, we need Grady. I know. You have to put in the phrase that I'm going to type into chat here shortly. And that's how you win. You have to be subscribed. You have to like the stream. And preferably, I'd like you to be a part of the Discord so that you can either DM me or I can message you somehow easily. But when you win, if you win, you have to put in your Twitter, Instagram, or Discord name without the @ symbol so that I can find you. And if you don't, we're going to re-roll within 60 seconds. So you got to be really quick. Okay? Really quick. But what we're going to do for the giveaway, and this is for 2 tickets. Sorry, this is for 2 tickets for Game 3. Okay, 2 tickets for Game 3. I will send them to you later this week. It will not be immediately because I don't want anybody reselling these. I want somebody to actually go and take a picture and have a fun time with Eric. Eric, one of the first ones. The keyword is in the chat. It is not Luca's knees. It is Jim Pete, all one word.
Luca's knees.
should have been Luca's.
They love showing those knees, and they're always bloody, man.
Why are his knees bleeding? What is going on?
Jim Pete, by the way. And also, shout out Eric. I'm so happy that Eric won that giveaway.
I was so happy that Eric won. That was so deserved. Remember, if you're a member, you get 4 times as likely to win. So get your entries in here. I'm hoping that maybe, assuming we can still keep performing well, we can have maybe some Game 4 tickets, maybe some Game 6 tickets. We'll see. But yeah,
next series tickets,
World Series tickets, UFC tickets,
UFC, Lakers, and what?
Yeah, I was gonna try to pull it together and I couldn't. But Sirrah, I haven't seen that name.
You should say Jim Pete. There it is.
You should say Jim Pete. There we go. Yes. Welcome to the stream. I haven't seen that name before, or if I have, it's been a long time. All right. Drawing NBA Finals tickets, maybe. NBA Finals tickets, World Series tickets, UFC tickets, Wolves in 5.
That is true, Joker Nation. Jesus, that was hard to watch.
Yeah, he did. Okay, we're rolling in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. No. 3, 2, 1. Wow, it's late for you guys in the Central. Maybe we wait a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. Choose the winner. Choosing a winner right now. It is. Where is it? 420 Sports.
Oh.
Hey, 420 Sports. You've been here all season. That's awesome. Another W for the win. W 420 Sports.
I love seeing that.
420 Sports. I don't remember if you've won a giveaway in the past, but either way, can you send me something to contact you somehow? He's always here, just not a member. Wow. So that's pretty amazing that you won without the member luck. That's incredible.
He said, "Wow."
That is wow. Maybe is that your handle? I have not. You have not won. Okay. So put in something, either your Discord or your Twitter or something, but you can't put the @ symbol because if it doesn't, yes. So make sure you put that in. By the way, speaking of other giveaways, while we're waiting for that, nobody has gifted 420 yet. What does that mean? 420 gifted? That would be crazy. Gifted 420. I get it. Okay. Yeah. How is that possible? Well, we've been gifting so many.
We were sponsored by a
We
company
were
back on Twitch.
We were sponsored. Yeah, it's true. We were sponsored by a company back then. But man, Discord or Twitter. If you're on Discord, just do Discord or just
Discord's
DM me.
better.
Yeah, Discord's probably better because the DM system, apparently Elon is going to get rid of it because one of his exes like wanted to DM him or I don't know, something weird. But anyways, future giveaways. We're going to be doing a jersey giveaway one of these games too. Whether it's either the next game or the next one, that's sponsored by, I don't know if they're here right now, sponsored by Steve, who specifically gave it to me at the meetup. Appreciate you, Steve. I don't know if you're here right now.
Get out of here. That's amazing.
Yep, at the meetup, Steve said, hey, I hope this can go towards a giveaway. And I was like, I'm going to save it for something good. And I have saved it for the playoffs. So we've got this. Okay, I've got Discord EVJG. Did I say that right? I don't know. If you can DM me, I can try to find you too. But if you're able to DM me, Cameron, that's good. And then I did get some people reaching out to me about graphic designers or people that are interested in doing some things like that. I still am putting in the call out for anybody that wants to design anything. I'm going to get back to you with some of my ideas. Hopefully, what I'm really hoping is that somebody can make these ideas for me. I don't have the time to come up with these amazing, cool ideas that like Jake Scraffs used to, and some of these other people do. So yes, you'll add me shortly. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. And yeah, if you can't find me, just find me on the Discord. Yes. Next game, Friday.
Xavier, sorry, didn't win.
Who's our opponent? No, I'm just kidding. Lakers.
It's not funny.
It's not funny. But thank you for laughing. 8:30 Central. I have a tiny schedule conflict that's going to make me miss probably the end of the game, like the fourth quarter exactly. I am very sad. Actually, did somebody just cancel? I gotta check. I think I have a schedule conflict. Ashwin, are you available? Do you know? Oh, I'm definitely
Friday?
that night. Yeah.
I'm here. I'm here
Okay.
for you, bud.
Cool. You can go live whenever. I will join you whenever I can because I think I'll be able to go shortly after the game is done. Well, semi-shortly. But we will be live. And then Sunday, we may or may not have a show. It's an afternoon game, and me and Ashwin are going on a date.
With a third party.
With a third party, also maybe a fourth party. Maddie is interested.
Also a fifth party.
I might invite everybody I know.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Everybody, come over to Seattle. Go to the Minnesota bar. But for real, anybody that wants to come, they can come. Like if you're in Seattle area, let us know.
Men?
But men do usually. I can't say that anymore. I have children that watch this show. Not my own children though.
Shout out to your father.
Shout out to my dad. Cool. Girl, drinks on me. Yeah, right. We gotta have drinks on you, or we are gonna pay for your drinks.
We're not drinking on you though.
We are. Never mind. I'm. You've got me off track now. Cool. I think that's it.
That's it. Let's get out of here.
Series tied 1-1. Oh, my phone just heard me say Siri. That's it. Timberwolves lose. And they're
Game
done
3,
winning for the rest of the
Minnesota.
season.
Let's get fucking hype, Cameron.
Dude, I hope game 3 is
It's gonna be so
lit.
good.
Yeah, it'll be fun. But sweet. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like the stream on your way out if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 25 million subs by the end of the season.
Could happen if we were Lakers.
Maybe. Yep.
That's
intro.
true, Crone. That's a
Yeah.
very positive take.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I know this game was ugly. We said this. It's 1-1. I know it's the Lakers. I know it's the refs. we had a very good game one. And realistically, we only lost the first quarter tonight. Like, we won everything. We didn't win every other quarter, but we essentially won the last 3 quarters. I'll take it. That's fine to me. We got a chance. We won the second quarter, almost tied the third quarter by 1 point, and we won the fourth quarter by 7 points. So really isn't that terrible. Just doesn't feel good. So yeah, I hope the officiating for Game 3 is fair. I'll be very curious to see who the people are. I bet it's going to be somebody like Ed Malloy, or it's going to be that other guy that everybody hates. I can't remember his name. That guy. Anyways, Wolves in 5 is still possible. Intro and Wolves in 6 is still possible. Wolves in 7 too. Intro as the outro, not the Jim Pete intro. Sorry. You'll have to rewind it and rewatch the whole stream again. We will see you guys Friday night after a Game 3 W. Peace.
I believe that the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to win the world championship.
They are advancing to the Western Conference Finals for the first time in 20 years.